Have you ever bought something only to realize minutes later that you just wasted your hard earned money? Well, we know the feeling all too well. With all the online shopping and fancy new technology these days, it's super easy to just buy things, but most times, what we get isn't what we expected. That's why we've put together a list of 15 disappointing items that we wish we hadn't wasted our money on. So, let's get started with teeth whitening strips at number 15. So, we know everyone wants pearly white teeth, and nobody wants to spend a fortune at the dentist. That's where these at home whitening kits come in. But have you tried those pesky little strips? They are just so hard to use, like you have to cut them down to fit your teeth, which is honestly like trying to do origami in your mouth. And if you don't get them in the right spot, you'll end up with yellow spots instead of a bright smile. Next up, we have CDs at number 14. Sure, like back in the day, they were the most affordable option for buying music. But let's face it, if you're still buying CDs today, you're wasting your money. Not only are they a hassle to care for with scratches, but they offer little bang for your buck. And I mean, now we have Spotify and Apple Music, where you can listen to any and every song, band, or artist you want for a low monthly fee. So CDs are hardly worth the expense. And now it's Microsoft Kinect at number 13. The idea of using your own body as a game controller sounded cool. But if you had to use it, you needed a lot of space to move around. Many gamers were disappointed with it because of how inconvenient it was to move around stuff every time you wanted to play. Up next at number 12, we have the BlackBerry Passport. So, this was BlackBerry's attempt at a smartphone, which was basically just a brick with buttons. It was massive, so it was almost impossible to use it with one hand. And carrying it in your pocket was out of the question. And even if you could get past its size, its performance was not any better. This was indeed a very disappointing product for BlackBerry fans. And next up is HP Touchpad at number 11. It was one of the most affordable tablet options in the market up until HP decided to withdraw support for their touchpad, which meant that while the tablets were still working, it was like a ticking time bomb. So, like, as soon as something went wrong, HP wouldn't fix and you'd just end up trashing your cash with this product. At the 10th spot, we have the micro SD cards. Well, back in the day, we didn't have massive mobile memories or cloud storages. We were so dependent on these for our data. But how can we forget they were a pain to work with? You had to deal with finicky connectors and had limited space. And how upgrading and transferring your data was a total headache. And God forbid if you lost this tiny card, it was like playing Russian roulette with your data that you might never be able to recover. And now it's the GoPro Karma drone at number 9. And a drone that keeps falling defeats the whole purpose of flying, right? Well, that's the GoPro Karma for you. It promised a bird's eye view of everything from the ground, but it was just unable to stay airborne almost always. So it's safe to say this tech product landed in the trash with our money. Next up, at the 8th spot, is 3D TVs. When these first hit the market, everyone was all excited about the 3D movie experience at home. But it turned out to be a major disappointment, as it was expensive and you had access to limited content. And the biggest pain in the ass was the glasses you had to wear. They were so uncomfortable and caused headaches. For number 7 on our list, we have hoverboards. And well, these were claimed to be the future of transportation. But instead, they turned out to be a complete nightmare. Not only were they hard to use, but they were also illegal in some places. On top of that, they were known to easily catch fire, making them a serious fire hazard that may take us to the hospital for sure. At number 6, we have Volkswagen diesel cars. So, these were marketed as eco friendly, but it turns out they were actually the exact opposite of that. In 2015, it was discovered that Volkswagen had been cheating on their emission tests. In fact, they were giving off 40 times more tailpipe emissions than what was legally allowed. Just imagine people were paying extra for a car that was doing more harm than good. What a bummer. And now, at the 5th spot, we have Microsoft Zune. It was supposed to be the iPod killer, but it turned out to be a joke. It lacked the sleekness and the functionality of the iPod, was heavy, bulky, and difficult to navigate. And to make it worse, it had limited selection of music and apps. With all these issues, Zune was quickly forgotten, and for all the good reasons. Next up, at number 3 is HD DVDs. And we all thought HD DVDs were going to be the future, right? Well, turns out Toshiba's HD DVDs didn't stand a chance against Sony's Blu ray. So we're sorry if you spent your hard earned money on a bunch of expensive but useless DVDs. Now we have the Apple Watch at number 2. Well, if you think of it, these can't really do anything useful that we're not already doing on our phones. So basically, the Apple Watch is just a super expensive fitness tracker with features like sending messages, checking notifications, which you can just do on your phone. So we think it's the biggest consumerism scam till date. And finally, at the first spot, we have another Apple product, which is the dongle connector. This fragile little thing was something that we were sort of forced to buy with the new upgrade. You couldn't charge your phone if you were listening to music, and these would break so easily. It was like Apple came up with a solution to a problem that Apple created. But we had to pay for it because we didn't really have a choice. And with that, it's a wrap on our list of 15 disappointing products that we wasted our money on. It's honestly so frustrating, but hey, we live and learn from these mistakes, right? So, what products do you think are a total waste of money? Let us know in the comments below. And if you like this video, give us a big thumbs up and share it with your friends and family.